Wait, why does that switch to me? Yeah, thank you. Like I hit a crazy curse. Oh, let those guys run into each other. This guy is crazy, annoying. I hate caltrops on a cooldown. Big toe. What is that guy doing? I don't think this guy killed anyone. That's actually pretty good. Alright, well, that's pretty good upgrades if you ask me. Oh. The rogue again. Like, what are you doing, dude? Oh, that's what? Broncos. Gosh, the max health strike? Add the additional weapon, that's probably worth some money. Dude, Dorbles is lit! Holy. So when you're going against a double jump rogue here, since I knew he was only running rapier here, and he had hand crossbow on the other, I knew I was safe to go bear there. Fighter. Right, the flange mace fighter. So I knew I got a headshot there, and a headshot there. Alright, okay, that was easy. So because he swung, I knew I had a headshot there, so it was easy. And then I just backed up. So you saw with Bear there, I headshot him and then he blocked, but I backed away and went like this, or look up, so his what do you call it? So his lantern shield couldn't just farm me. Proportional move speed is pretty good. Close the door behind him, so we should face this way. I figured he wasn't in anything good, honestly. I just take his. So the only door that's open is over there. Double check that all the doors are closed. Yep. Alright. Just that one door we need to worry about. That rapier's actually pretty good. Oh, like. But. Okay. For the perks that I am running currently, the must-takes are Shapeshift Mastery, Thorn Coat, Sun and Moon, and for me, I always take Natural Healing. However, some people take it out for, you can take it out for Enhanced Wildness. And, well, I never ever would run Dreamwalk, but I do see people run that, but definitely would not recommend Dreamwalk. But for me, these are just the only perks you can run. This is not bad at all. It has no downside, only upside, but none of these have downside either, except Shapeshift Mastery. But regarding that, you lose access to Nature's Touch, Orb of Feeling, Restore, Dreamfire, all these, which used to be and what I thought were mandatory for Druid. But in HR and any high skill fight where you're trying to take every advantage as you can, it's a lot easier for Druid to use Shapeshift Mastery to Chicken Jump away, Panther Jump away, and then use better bandages to heal, thus and also saving HP because you don't take any extra damage, say in that 0.5 second transform, or if you mess up and you're too close to a wall and then you don't transform, it's a second. So obviously no Druid I don't play perfectly, so for me Shapeshift Mastery is just so mandatory. And once you get used to not having these spells and then backing up and being slightly more passive and not like going so hard on a fight, then I think you don't even notice I haven't even, half the time I'm not even casting spells. I could probably play the game without a spell memory and it wouldn't even change that much. Obviously it means I'm not playing as best as I could, but I do think you can play just fine without your healing spells. And then Thorncoat and Sun and Moon have stayed the same. Thorncoat's just so OP as a bear. Less as a panther, but you know, you can still get hit twice and survive as a panther, so that's still 10 true damage, which is great against any fight. Sun and Moon just gives 3 vigor. The 5 magic power is really pointless now because you don't get the bonus on your healing, but the 3 vigor is just super good, like just free stats. And then natural healing for me is just so OP compared to enhanced wilderness because the 1 health every 3 seconds, it does scale, but it's not like you're gonna have any scaling, so just the 1 health every 3 seconds just adds up a lot, especially now that you don't have your healing spells. You have to play more passively ish, you know, and thus the fights kind of take a bit longer. Obviously, like, the fight can still end in like 30 seconds because you bear them into a corner, or if it's a wizard and you get a good jump in silence with panther, it's still quick. But in any other fight, this is gonna easily give you, assuming more than 30 seconds of a fight, 10 health back, which is half a half a potion. 20 health over 20 seconds. So that's insane. And then just running the better bandages to, like, just blue and green bandages are so insane compared to white. 15 health versus 30. Popping 2 of these is like popping, 4 of those. So good. So for that, that's the perks. Shapeshift Mastery, I think, is always worth running still. I hope they bring back spells, but if not, I hope they buff Druid in another way. As for the spells, it's a little bit different than before now that you don't have your healing spells. I've been running, in Squire, I run Barkskin, Mending, and Tree. You can run both those, no issue. And then once you start running gear, I would probably do Vines, because you can set up Bear with them, and then Thorn Barrier, because you can block somewhat doorways, and also just be annoying with them. Both of these are just, like, good. Like, this is actually pretty good. I should use these more in Squire. And Barkskin Armor, really good. The duration isn't very long, so don't feel pressured to go all in. Like, if you pop this and then you go Panther, don't just dash on someone, because although you're getting 50 armor rating, it's not like you're not invincible. So I sometimes pop these, but it's not like something that is gonna maybe win you the fight if you're going in as Panther. If you're going against I want to say a geared rogue, barbarian not geared, smite cleric, anything that already beats you in Panther still beats you with this active. So it's more something that you pop, and then if you happen to fight anyway, it saves you them. It's 50 armor rating, it gives you PDR. But just having a potion of protection, like if you have like just a better potion of protection, it'll probably do you more good popping that than this. But it's like the only spell we have left, so you might as well use it. Then the only healing option you have, Mending Grove, obviously is a must take. So it's very useful for if you can back up. The downside of it is it's super slow. You have to back up enough that they don't push you in it. So you have to, let's assume best case scenario, you damage them a ton and they damage you a ton. And now you have to back up, presumably at least probably 10 feet away, then pop the transform. So now you're human form, which is risky if you're against any class with ranged, which is most classes. Because then, assuming you're low, you have to dodge your shots. So you either need to be out of their line of sight or backed up enough that they can't enter the Mending Grove to gain its effects. And then you need to place it, which casts, and it's a slower cast. And then you need to stand in it, which is something that you shouldn't really, it's not something you should get in the habit of doing, is standing in your, standing still as a druid, obviously. So unless you're in like an out of reach place, it's scarier. And then you get the healing over a duration. So obviously it's better than nothing, but it's not something you should you can't really crutch it, because you're not like out healing. Say you were fighting a fighter, and in the time it takes, so you both trade, and then you Panther dash away or you back up. If it's a skilled player, they're either reloading their crossbow to shoot at you, or they're immediately like bandaging, or imagine second winding, or potting. Maybe not potting, because if you didn't use your dash, you might dash back on them, but let's assume you use your dash to get away. Now you can't dash on them. So they can pop a blue pot, and then 2 blue bandages, and if they have action speed, it doesn't take very long to do that. And the amount of time that you'll have Mending Grove popped, obviously you'll both come out to about the same HP, but this is on a charge versus, you only have 2 of these versus you can have, you can have like 12 blue bandages. So it's not something that wins you the fight. compared to like these. You could pop both these like instantly, and then transform and go back into the fight or move around or apply pressure. You know, like the advantage of these restore and nature touch is you hit them, and then he can't just bandage in your face anymore or pop a pot because you're just sitting there as Panther healing over time. So that's why this not as good as just I would take either of these over this hands down, like 1,000,000%. Like just having Nature's Touch Dreamfire alone, I would take over this. Oh my god, it'd be so good. And then Tree is still really good. Obviously, this didn't change or anything. It's still really good. So definitely always take Tree just for getting in the habit of blocking doors. It works both offensively and defensively, and it also ties in with Thorn Barrier. You can put Tree on the door and Thorn Barrier on the tree, and it creates just this like immovable. You have to kill the tree because it's like stuck in the Thorn Barrier, and then you know, like you can't just lure the tree out and then go around the tree and come inside. So these two make a really good combo for just blocking a door. So just get in the habit of using this whenever you can, but don't get trapped into using it. If they just push you while you're holding the spell or casting it, just cancel the cast and, you know, transform. And then Entangling Vine, I told already, for setting up bears you can hit, or if you're like bossing, you can grief someone, get them stuck in this, and then they get hit by a Wyvern or Troll or Cyclops. Or any boss. If someone gets hit in this and they're fighting the boss, they're probably dead. And then I talked about that. One more thing is in Squire gear, or you know, even geared, unless you're running a bunch of all with like a book or something, you can actually run in trios, Tree of Life plus Barkskin with Shapeshift Mastery. And obviously you lose the tree, which sucks, but in trios, maybe you're not treeing as often. I don't know if I'd ever run this, but like you could run this if you have 3 all attributes, so neck and rings. You run tree, and mending. So I'd probably do that if I was running like somewhat geared. I don't know. I don't really play buff Druid, so I don't really care for Tree of Life. I tried it in trios with some of my friends from other games, and I never ended up really using it. Because, well, you have to be really coordinated, because it lasts 8 seconds. So if you're not coordinated, or if you're not geared enough to get on top of them in 8 seconds, obviously it gives healing, but it's whatever. So, and it's been nerfed. I think it was like 5-0, now it's 3-0. But, so that is an option. You can sub this for this in trios if you don't want to run tree. I think Mending Grove is better than tree in trios because, again, you're 3 people. So you have twice, you know, 3 times the bonus from the healing. But this would be the solo setup for sure. Like that. And then Shapeshift is the same. Penguin you can bring over Rat on the water map, but because of all the nerfs it's gotten, like so many nerfs, it's kind of insane. It's kind of pointless. Like I don't even fight with Penguin on the water map anymore. I just fight with Panther or Spear underwater. Like I just go human, because if they start getting on top of you and you can't back up fast enough, you just switch Panther and dash away. Or if it's a squishier class, you can just Panther dash underwater on them. I still keep Penguin over Rat, but I just use it for the move speed. But again, it's crazy. You just compare underwater, shift, like with the shift or not shift for the bonus move speed, you get like 1 or 2 additional move speed being Penguin than Panther. So the only advantage to Penguin, 1 move speed is nothing. The only advantage of Penguin is just some mobs are easier to clear with it, but again, you're Druid, so you have Spear, so no mobs are difficult. And then it has a smaller hitbox. So if you're going against like a Ranger with True Shot underwater, Panther is obviously bigger hitbox, even than human kind of probably. So you could switch to Panther or switch to Penguin to dodge arrows and whatnot. But I would not fight with Penguin at all. I'll have to try doing a Will Vigor stack Penguin with action speed and True Fizz, and just stacking Will, Vigor, Max Health, bonus, True Fizz, action speed, like a full kit. It'll probably be really cheap because who builds Will on Druid or in general, except Warlock now, but I don't think Warlock pieces really match with Druid pieces. So that could be fun, but do not really. I wouldn't recommend fighting as Penguin. Panther is just so much better. I mean, it's the same. If anything, you have a higher advantage compared to on land, because as Panther, you are underwater, so you're moving in, 3 dimensions. So you can actually be on their head level, and you can hit headshots way easier. They hit you in the head as easily as if you were beneath them, but you can land headshots. So Panther actually is kind of like buffed underwater because of that. You know, it's a lot harder to hit headshots. And then the dash underwater is also insane for redirecting. All right, now we're talking about the Squire setup that I'm running. And it looks like this. This is what I run in Squire builds. I'll go over what I'm running and why. I'll start, obviously, Spear Spellbook. And then I'm running the Woolen Cap over what I would normally be running, which is the Forest Hood or the Elkwood Crown, and I'll tell you why. You can run Straw Hat too. It gives you the... Oh, actually, they removed the move speed is now the same for some reason. I thought Forest Hood wasn't that used to... Didn't that used to be -3 move speed, I want to say? Is that right? So now I feel Forest Hood is just better in every way. And this has 1 less armor rating, but you're gaining 15 magic resistance. So in my opinion, on Squire at least, before Straw Hat gave you, I want to say 2 move speed actually. I want to say Forest Hood used to be -4. I might be crazy, but I'm pretty sure that was the only reason you would pick between the 2 of them. But now, in my opinion, Forest Hood is just the better hat. They're both the same headshot damage reduction. There's 1 armor rating difference, but if it's the same move speed, you might as well take the magic resist, right? So either Woolen Cap or this. However, I really like that this gives you 2 Vig, the 1 Dex, and the 1 Agi. So obviously you're trading off 3 strength, but you're gaining 4 stats. So, and you're losing a little bit of armor rating and a little bit of headshot damage reduction, but it's not as severe as 11%. You know, this, it's more than double headshot damage reduction. However, this is 2 Vig, 1 Dex, and this is 2 Vig, 1 Dex, 1 Agi. When in Squire gear, that 1 Agi I feel goes a lot further than the headshot damage reduction. So I like the Woolen Cap, and I like it more than the Forest Hood because you're getting 1 extra full stat, and you're gaining max health and action speed. Over this doesn't give you action speed. Now, again, in Squire, I feel like what you need more is action speed. If you're in Squire gear, Bear is so slow that there's not really a point for me to build like even the Squire into Bear, because unless someone is aping you, like, you know, no brain, just W keys into you, the Bear isn't, you're never going to hit anyone with it really. And at that point, if someone does ape into you, no brain, either they aren't geared like they're in Squire, in which case you still kill them in Bear, you know, if you hit them in the head. Or if they are geared, you wouldn't even really want to fight them in Bear, because if you're in Squire and they know what they're doing, even if they W key into you, if they tilt their head back, you know, by looking up, and you only hit them limbs or body, if they're geared, again, a geared Barbarian, a geared Plate Fighter, anything like that, you're just going to lose the Bear fight in. So not really any point in building Bear and Squire kits. That's the reason for the Woolen Cap. You be careful when you're in Panther though, because you do only have 5% headshot damage reduction. Moving on to the chest for Squire, and I don't have all these leveled up, so some of them are not. I don't have all my guys leveled up, so some of them are not the common, but we'll assume common for all of these. I'm running padded. Some alternatives you can run are Dark Grove, because it gives you 1 less strength, but actually, nah, I take it back. There's no point running this. They're both common. The same move speed. The padded actually gives you more PDR, and the will doesn't benefit you at all. The only reason I'd run this is if you were running Penguin. When I was running Penguin a bit, I'd run this, but again, I think Penguin is troll, especially in Squire gear. You really need more stats to make Penguin work. You're gonna lose to any other person. So there's no point in stacking will. I'd run the X strength. So padded I feel is the best you can run. You could run this though if you wanted to just build Panther, but not that useful. It would be 2/2, 2 agi, 2 resourcefulness. So I always just run padded. It's a nice piece for Druid for the chest. Going to the legs, you have 2 options: the loose and the trunk. And this is where you can kind of pick if you wanted to be a bit tankier, lose move speed, and gain more strength. For me personally, I always run loose trousers because I think Panther allows for more outplay than Bear is more hoping that they walk into you and also don't have a lot of gear or PDR, because your Bear doesn't do much damage if they're full PDR. Even like Squire PDR is still like gonna take like 6 hits to the head, it feels like, against a Plate Fighter, and then assuming they're running Longsword, you're not even gonna be able to Bear them. So then you're going to only be baiting with Bear just to swap into Panther anyway. So, in my opinion, Squire gear, Bear is troll. So again, just loose trousers. You could run cloth pants and whatnot if you were, say, building Bear for the rest to try to get more action speed, but I feel like that's just trapping yourself to killing someone with bear when it would just in the end be easier if you use bear if you needed to, but then just finish them with panther. That's the legs, and that kind of you'll see that kind of applies. Going to the hands, same thing. Riveteds. These are only common, so 2 strength, so they could be 3 strength. Something that you could run instead that I would say is viable is the Elkwood gloves for the same reason as what I've been talking about. The 2 strength doesn't really help you that much compared to just getting, if these were common, I'd probably honestly put them on. 2 dex, 2 vig is so nice compared to getting 3 strength. But you do want to still have some strength. That's why I have these pieces on, you know, just so you're above in his power bonus and whatnot. But you could sub these in. But I'm keeping these on since I do want to have some strength for the max health in bear. And then the last one are feet, and these ones are really easy to do, and that's just the Bagash because it's 2/2. And in Squire gear, that just again gives you a full stat more than if you were running 3 strength or 3. If these were common, they'd be 3 agi. So that's 3. That's 3. This is 4. So this is just better. So I would always recommend Pagash. The 2 agi and 2 strength are just so nice. You know, you get like 1 more move speed, but yeah, no, I would always Pagash are just really good boots, especially even more so in Squire because it gives you just 1 more stat. And then I always try to, you know, you can bring a fire, you know, bring campfire and all that. That's obvious. So that is what I build for Squire.